Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, Socalsabre. Thank you for stopping by. Well, we're going to be talking about music again, as usual, this week. What did I listen to? The first one here was a big surprise to me, and I would like some input from all you people out there. The first one I listened to was a 1972 album, Demons and Wizards by Uriah Heep. This is the only thing in the collection I have by Uriah Heep. It's the fourth studio album. It opens up to some kind of a crazy thing we got here. We got the gatefold. It's their fourth studio album, and it was considered their breakthrough album. The shock by me upon hearing, because I'm not a Uriah Heep fan, if I got nothing, this is the only thing I got in the collection, was not the head-banging rock that I expected. And why did I get it? It was on my watch list, but I have no idea why. Okay? The album reached number 20 in the UK, number 23 in the US. In the US. The album hit number 1 in Finland and remained on top of the charts for 14 weeks. This was so good, and I really liked this. Their voices, the lead singer voices, and I know there was a few of them that sang different songs. So, what I'm asking for is for some input, folks, for your Uriah Heep fans. I want to add something else to the collection. What's your recommendation? What's another really good one by Uriah Heep? Now, I will check into their catalog, and I'll put something on the watch list, but then you've got ideas, let me know so I can put that on my watch list. So that was the album cover. Let's take a look at the album. I got this on Whatnot. Played really, really nice. It's in really good shape. So while I'm closing this one up, take a second, go down there and hit the like button. If you're watching, you haven't subscribed yet, please do so to help the channel grow. And everybody put comments down there, any kind of comments about this music, my requests or that. So that was the Demons and Wizards, the 1972 LP by Uriah Heep, the only thing I have in my collection. All right, the next thing, I do have quite a bit of this one in my collection. You saw it on the thumbnail. This is the 1973 album, 30 Seconds Over Winterland by Jefferson Airplane. This is getting to the end of their career here. I have 9 LPs, 1 CD, and a 3 CD box set in the collection by Jefferson Airplane. I also have put out a video on covered the box set in details. Check that out when you get some time. This was recorded live in August and September of 1972 at the Auditorium Theater in Chicago and the Winterland Ballroom in San Francisco. Okay. It was released in April of 73. This was reflecting the band's declining commercial stature. It only peaked at number 52 in the Billboard's chart. Not being up on all of the news back in those days, and I was in Korea at that time, the declining stature was probably their own making. All right, here's the album. It's on Grunt Records. Okay, 30 Seconds Over Winterland was the band's second live album after Bless Its Pointed Little Head. The complete concert of this tour may be heard on the Last Flight CD released in 2007. The Winterland shows were the last live performances by Jefferson Airplane until the reunion in 1989. Which didn't last all that long. Although definitely not their best, I'm glad, as a JA fan, I'm glad to have this in my collection. The winter, I already said that they were last summer. That's because it's not their best, but because it's there, I could have probably gone G, but because I'm a JA fan, I'm going G plus on this one for the week. I didn't tell you on Demons and Wizards also that was VG. Okay, so G plus on this one, which was 30 Seconds Over Winterland, the 1973 live edition by Jefferson Airplane. I was happy to get that. Next on the list is by a guy that's been around for a long, long time. I remember him from the 60s and 70s. He had some big hits back then, too. And this is The Painter, 1976 album by Paul Anka. And I have counting this, I have 2 LPs in the collection by Paul Anka. Go figure, and I got one by Uriah Heep. Okay, really nice insert. The album cover is notable because it was a portrait of Paul Anka done by Andy Warhol. It was United Artists' first release to employ the new Sansui electronic QS regular matrix system for the quadraphonic sound and 4-channel pressing of technology. So, the album reached number 16 on the Canadian charts and 85 on the US charts. You know, I liked him in the early days. With his 50s and 70s hits, especially like Diana. Everybody remember Diana. And then the other one, She's Having My Baby. But Paul was just a little too mellow for me on this one. So I'm going to go fair plus with Paul Anka for this week. This was the Painter album by Paul in 1976. Well, going downhill, huh? From VG to G plus to F plus. What's going on in my mind today? All right, the next thing we got here is a gentleman new to me. It's a 1978 LP by John Connolly, titled Rose-Colored Glasses. It's the only thing I have in the collection by John Connolly. This was the debut album by the country music artist Connolly. No inner on it. Put it a little closer so you can see the tracks. And Discogs is listed as pop rock and country. I found it mostly to be country, though. Another new artist to me with a very good voice in the music of G plus for me. Okay? And the album was a commercial success, peaking just outside of the top 10, the country top 10, at number 11, and would be his highest charting album until 1983. But I never heard of him either. Featured 3 singles on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. First was the title track, which reached number 5. And then both Lay Down and The Backside of 30 were number 1 singles on the same chart. It was pretty good. I'm not a big country western fan. I think you guys know that, but I'm going to give him a G plus this week on this one. I did like his voice. I like some of the music. It's the album. I got to get off of Whatnot. I got more albums in the queue waiting to get watched. I was also asked a question because somebody they seen my videos on my visit to the In Groove in. Let me finish this. So this was Rose-Colored Glasses by John Connolly in 1978, his debut album. Well, anyway, I was asked, when am I going to start mixing in the stuff from my visit to the In Groove in Phoenix and Record Store Day? Well, I'm going to start getting at least one in starting next week, every week. That was too late for this week when I got started. I mean, I had the stuff, but I just didn't think of it at the time. So I'm gonna start mixing them in, or also take me like 10 years to get through them all. Uh, and people like to see the stuff that just came out. All right, so that was Rose Colored Glasses by John Conley. Now we're gonna go into CDs. The very first album is the 1993 CD Highlights, the very best of Yes. I have 4 LPs and 2 CDs in the collection by Yes. This is the 4th compilation album by the English progressive rock band. It has 12 tracks on it that span most of the group's history, from their debut album Yes in '69 to Big Generator in 1987. And I'm having a hard time getting a little booklet out of here. I do have some more Yes on my my watch list. I think it's Close to the Edge. But I'm not paying the big money for it. If I can get it on sale somewhere, I'll get it, but the asking price for the even for the reissue, it's more than I'd like to pay. This is crazy trying to read this. This is this lyrics, song titles, and credits. Look at the little print all the way around this thing. That's what that is. Well, people, when they create these CD cut things, they really, we're going to test these people out, see what they know. Well, anyway, this was a great addition to the collection. Most of the LPs that I have gotten after the CD era. Well, I mean, the LP might have come out before the CD era, but what I'm talking about is the CD era where I wasn't buying LPs, I was just buying CDs. And then when I got back into LPs again, then I started picking up the LPs from Yes. Show you the back so you can see the track list. Oh, you can't hardly read the track list, so I'll hold it up there close for you. I did enjoy this. It had a lot of their hits on it, and I give it VG for the week. Pretty good stuff. That was number 171, by the way. Next CD, number 172, is the Hits 2, the 1993 album reissue by Prince. No, it's the 1993 album. I have 3 LPs and 6 CDs in the collection by Prince. Here is the tracks. In conjunction with the Hits number 1, the album contains most of Prince's most well-known songs from 13 studio albums released originally from 78 to 93. Batman being the only album not represented. With the exception of the song Soft and Wet, the more explicit material was saved for the number number 2 album to avoid getting a parental warning on the number 1 album. This album reached number 54 in the Billboard's 200 chart, number 23 on the Billboard Top R&B chart. Then we got to go way out here for look at all of the liner notes, lyrics, and credits on this. I'm not one to usually do much reading on these things. I had both the number 1 and the number 2 on CD and on LP. which came out in I believe it was 2022. The LPs were re-released. So I picked them up. Compared to number one, it isn't quite as good, but I'm still going to give it a VG for the week because Prince has done some really good stuff. Okay, we're getting to the end here. One more album that was already in the collection. This is number 95. It's a 1978 album by Burton Cummings, Dreams of a Child. Never saw Burton or the Guess Who. Had a chance to see Burton Cummings. Was canceled out there to COVID though. I have 2 LPs and 1 CD in the collection by him. Here's the inner. This was Dreams of a Child was Burton's 3rd solo album released in 78, and it became one of Canada's top-selling albums, going triple platinum. And Dreams of a Child became Canada's #1 top-selling album of all time. It since has been surpassed, but it had reached, like I said, triple platinum going during its long ride on the charts. Now, when Burton Cummings was out around this era, I liked the singing in the Guess Who, but his solo work I really liked. There was something about his voice that just drew me, that I really liked his voice a lot. And probably not my top 5 as far as male singers, but he's ranking up there pretty high. Got a little bit of a pop on side 1 on the first track. So I might put this back through another cleaning. It's just charted at number 11 in Canada. Breaking through them gently, and I will play a Rhapsody, were the big hits to be for him off of this album. In the day, like I said, he was one of my favorites, and I think this is like his voice. I'm going VG on air now. That was Dreams of a Child, Burton Cummings' 1978 solo album. Now to pick out which ones that I enjoyed the most this week. Well, the very first one that I wanted to pick out is the very first one I talked about today, Demons and Wizards by Uriah Heep. Boy, I really like that. I hope you guys provide me some inputs on this one. Then we're going to go down a little bit more and moving down a little bit more and more and more. And I think I'm going to go with Dreams of a Child by Burton Cummings because I liked him so much in the day, and I like this album a lot. So those are my 2 picks for this week. What would you have picked? If you don't have any of these, just if you got one of the artists you like best, let me know. I like hearing from you guys and you people, and I will get back with you. So this is Socalsabre. Until next week, take care of yourselves out there. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.